Welcome to another episode of the Leo Climaco Podcast. We're coming to you from the beautiful #1 studio in Miami, The Move. Today, I have a very special guest. He's an entrepreneur. He's a business mentor and investor. He specializes in unlocking your potential and guiding you to your financial freedom. Edwin Carrion. What's up, bro?
Hey, Leo, thank you for having me. And to
My
everybody
pleasure.
watching the show and listening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Get ready for an amazing show by Leo.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. All right, so let's get a little bit into who you are. Tell me your background. How did you become who you are today?
Okay, so I'll give you the quick rundown,
Yes.
right? So, born and raised in Ecuador. Was fortunate enough to come to the United States at 12 years old.
I love your country.
It's
Such a beautiful country.
Yes,
I've
it
been there
is.
several
It is.
times. It's such a beautiful,
So if
beautiful
you love
people.
It, you know Quito. So
Yes.
I'm from Quito, so
Okay.
the weather is nice and cold. I was raised by a single mother, and I lived in a very humble home. So, those are my humble beginnings.
Yeah.
When I came to the United States, I love the United States. Everything is amazing, fabulous, grand. And I was able to accomplish one of my dreams, which is to become a United States Marine.
Oh.
So I went into the Marine Corps, came out of the Marine Corps.
Very nice.
And
Congratulations.
that's how I really started, thank you, my entrepreneurship journey.
How do you think your humble upbringing shaped you?
I think it really it's what makes a lot of entrepreneurs very successful. Those humble beginnings, because we live on a need basis, meaning
Yeah.
that we need to become successful, we need to achieve certain things.
Yep.
Versus the ones that are given to them everything, and not all of them, most of them, that they don't have that need, they just kind of want it. So it's a huge difference between having a need and having a want.
Yeah, 100%. And I think having that desire to also make our parents proud, right? And also
Yes.
make sure that their sacrifice doesnn't go in vain, right?
Yes,
that
exactly.
they left their country for us. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I'm on the same road. I came to the U.S. when I was 7 years old, out of Brazil, and my whole thing was to become successful, to make sure that my parents' sacrifice wasn't gone in vain.
Yes.
So I think it's very, very important. Tell me, why the Marines? What made you want to become a Marine and serve this country?
Okay, so I love that story right there. And I don't get to share that one as much, with a lot of the podcasts that I do. But on that one, I always loved the military. I always like to be in uniform. Like, I looked up to military people. I'm like, that looks cool. Like, I want that, right?
That order, that structure.
And just the uniform.
Okay, just the
And
uniform.
then finally, I really wanted to be a jet fighter pilot.
Okay.
And when I was graduating
That's
high
awesome.
school, I applied into the Air Force Academy. But because I didn't do good in high school, I didn't get good grades, I was like a CD average student. The Air Force said, no way, you cannot be.
Wow.
You can't
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
the Air Force Academy.
Right.
You can go to the Air Force, but you can't go to the Academy. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to go to any branch, I'm going to go to the best of the best. And of
Right.
course, the story, the Marine Corps is the best.
For sure. How was that for you?
I loved it. I had such a great time. I was very fortunate enough to do a job that only the top 10% of the Marines get to do, which is guard the American embassies around the world.
Wow.
And I was very fortunate enough, and that taught me a lot. Not only that, it showed me that I didn't want to be part of the government system. I didn't want to be on the military side
Right.
anymore, because I was surrounded by the FBI, CIA, DI. So I wanted to be more on the federal side versus on the government side.
Right.
And after leaving the Marine Corps, I found myself going into the entrepreneurship journey, and I just stuck to that, and I love that.
Did you see any war? Did you experience any war ever?
Very fortunate not. I did not, but my brother is one of my heroes. He did go to Iraq, and I commend him for that, and I don't wish that upon anybody. But I did see a couple of things, but never compared to what
Yeah.
people have seen in war.
Is your brother also a Marine?
Yes, he is.
That's so. Both of
Yes,
you.
Both of us are Marines.
Wow. Made mama proud. That's awesome. So tell me, let's get into your entrepreneur journey. How did that begin? You left the Marine Corps, you met a few people. How did that go?
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, I think a lot of times, we have the hustler mentality, especially coming from other countries.
Yeah.
We always like to hustle, right? So I was always a hustler since I was young, teenager. I got into the DJ business. I used to be a DJ. I DJ in a lot of places here in Miami.
Okay.
A lot of clubs, Power 96 for once.
Very cool.
So I was surrounded by that.
Did you
So
grow up in Miami?
I grew up in
Okay.
Miami, yes. And after leaving Miami and coming back from the Marine Corps, like I said, I wanted to go into the federal side. I was thinking either be a CIA agent or FBI agent because I met some cool people that do some cool stuff, and I'm like, man, I want to do that, right? You have all that. You're young, you're single, you have adrenaline, you want this. But just before coming out, I told my mom, because I needed to get my bachelor's degree in order to be able to do that.
Right.
I told my mom, I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm thinking about doing this. She's like, oh, you should become a developer. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. What is that? Like, I had no idea what a developer was. Like,
right.
I was...
Like a building or computer?
It could be many things,
right?
So I had no idea what it was. So I'm like, what is it? It's like, oh, it's very simple. You buy land, build houses, and sell them.
That kind of developer. Got it.
So I'm like, oh, man, that seems easy. Go buy land, build a house, and sell it. I mean, bro, it seems like
pretty straightforward.
Simple to do, right? So I'm like, I love the business model, yes. So I started researching back then. You know, we had Yahoo. We didn't have Google yet.
What year was this?
This is 2002.
Okay.
2002. End of 2001, beginning of 2002.
Got it.
So I'm like learning how to build houses online on Yahoo. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I know how to build a house. You know, leave the Marine Corps, come to Miami, buy my first piece of land, and I'm going to start building. And then I realized that everything that I learned was not to build a house in Miami. Because in Miami, we use concrete blocks, we use cement, we use steel.
Right.
The way that I was learning to build was to learn how to build with everything made out of wood, which is like the way that you build up north.
Right.
So I'm like, I had to start all over again and figure out how do you build in Miami.
That's crazy. What was your biggest challenge in building that first home? Was it figuring that out? Once you figured that out, it took off?
No, it wasn't hard. You know, I think everything fell into place, and it was very simple because I found somebody. I didn't know what the word mentor meant at that time, but I found somebody that mentored me, that gave me the basic steps.
Okay.
And that person became a very good friend of mine. So what he did is he gave me 10 steps. He's like, this is for you to start building, you need to follow this first 10 steps.
Okay.
So I let it out like a checklist.
The 10 Commandments.
And I followed that checklist. Yes, 10 Commandments. You can go. And I started following that checklist. And it went well. You know, of course, I make mistakes here and there.
For sure.
You know, I've had to put in some manual labor on my own when, you know, because I wanted to learn the trade. I wanted to learn how to really, so I was more hands-on at the beginning. But once I learned that one house, when I went to 2, when I went to 4, 6, 8, I was more like on the management side, and I was delegating. I'm making sure everybody follows those checklists that I created at the beginning.
How many homes do you have now?
In total, I think I have built over 100 homes in my whole career. I've been in business, doing construction for over 22 years now.
That's amazing. Over 100 homes.
Yes.
So you've helped over 100 families
build their
home,
dream.
build their dream.
Yes.
That's amazing. That must feel really fulfilling.
It is. At the beginning, you know, I was doing it for the money.
Right.
So, and again, what I was saying, my need was to become rich because I wanted money and I was looking for the money. So I didn't put a lot of fulfillment into it. But now, looking back, and now that I understand, it's not all about money, it's about what I want and how I want to live my life.
Right.
I go back into the homes, and it's nice to be able to tell my kids, you know, I built this house 20 years ago, and this was my first house, and this was my second house. And this house, if you go to the master bedroom on the right corner, you lift up that tile, you're going to see my signature on the floor.
Really?
So there's little hidden gems here and there in different properties that I know where they are, that you know, when people don't believe that's a house that I built, I could tell them, go here, 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 and you're going to find this.
It's like your children. You have 100 children out there.
Yes, but I don't have to pay child support, right? So the good thing about that.
That's very true. Tell me, you've built 100 homes. How have you dealt with any setbacks, rejections, failures? Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, I think it's always continue pushing forward. And, you know, we talk about setbacks and, you know, because of timing issues.
Right.
Let's go back into the huge one, right, that is going bankrupt. So I was very fortunate enough to come out of the military, start building homes. I was in debt when I came out, and I was able to build this company to over $20 million in just 3 to 4 years.
That's impressive.
And then,
congratulations.
Thank you. 2007 comes around, the market crashes, and I go completely bankrupt. Like when I mean completely bankrupt, like back to zero again. So that was like a huge setback that it's not only a financial setback, but as a person that I've been able to come from the bottom and accomplish so much and go back to the bottom again, it's a huge mindset setback.
Yeah.
And and you start blaming yourself. You're like, you know, I'm a loser, I'm a failure. How did I do this? Like, I'm never going to be able to amount to anything else.
Right.
Like, you start putting all these negative things in your life and you start believing that.
Yeah.
Until you have to figure out, how do I get out of that? What do I need to do to be able to pivot from that, from that setback and continue moving forward? And to me, my biggest thing on that was self-development, that I found somewhere in there. I don't remember even how I ended up going to a seminar. and it's called a Millionaire Mind Intensive Seminar.
Okay.
So I went to that seminar, and during that weekend, the 3-day weekend, it completely reset my mind. Like, hey, I did it once, I could do it again.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people that succeed failed a lot of times.
For sure.
So it kind of gave me like that motivation. It motivated me for that moment. So the moment I came back, I opened up myself for new opportunities. And a good friend of mine from the Marine Corps came back. It's like, hey, do you have money? I have a great opportunity. I was broke, but I told him, yeah, what is it? You know, I learned not to pass out on opportunities.
Right.
So I heard the opportunity was into the jewelry business. And I'm like, yeah, well, how much do we need? He's like, $300,000. I'm like, I got it. Within a month, I went out and raised $300,000 during a recession. And I was able to make millions during the recession. So I learned that you don't only make money during the good times, but you also make a lot of money during a recession.
All right. So break that down. How were you able to raise $300,000 during a recession? How'd you do that?
Family and friends.
Okay.
I think the biggest one, it's being a reputable person, being a person of
They already
values.
trusted you based on your resume.
They trust you. They see what you're able to do.
Right.
And you're able to show a believable proof of concept, a concept that is going to work. So before me going out and raising the capital, I had to make sure that I proved the concept that business was going to work. So we did like a little mom and pop type of scenario where we figure out, okay, does this work? Can we make money? And we made it, like $10,000. So I understood that if I'm putting my word behind this, that is going to work. And sure enough, it worked. And it worked out, and we went from there.
That's amazing. Break down for me a little bit what you do now with your coaching and your clients.
Yes. So it's nice because after doing a real estate for such a long time, I thought that I needed to teach people. And this became because, I was talking to God, and I'm like, God, what do I need to do? Like, he's like, teach other people how to become successful. So at the beginning, I started teaching how to become real estate developer. But then I realized within a short period of time that the people that I were mentoring and the people that were coming up to me is like, Edwin, you did so many different industries.
Right.
How did you become successful in all of them? So then I realized that people didn't want to learn real estate development. They needed to learn how to become successful at business.
The foundation,
right?
Yeah.
The basics, how to create a multimillion-dollar company.
Right.
And when I started thinking about that, I realized that my key to success has always been the repetition, doing the same thing over and over again and following the same steps and the same systems and the same procedures. So I'm like, okay, that's what people need to learn. So then I started teaching business scaling. How do I take entrepreneurs that are on the 7 figures and want to go to 8 figures? How do I take those entrepreneurs that have hit that ceiling at the 6 figures, but want to go to 7 figures? And because I have hit those ceilings as well. So I figure out, in order for you to be able to get to the next level, you need somebody to guide you and to show you what's holding you back. Because a lot of times it might not be something with the business related, but it could be personal related. Or a lot of times it's something with business related, business systems, business processes, or us as entrepreneurs not letting go our own ego to be able to have other people help us out to get to the next level.
Is that probably the number one issue, ego?
Yes, definitely. I always talk about it. I think as entrepreneurs, we have this ego that nobody could do anything like we can. And it's true. Nobody can do anything like we can. Nobody is ever going to be able to do the things that I do.
For sure.
But can somebody do it similar or close enough, as good enough as me? Yes, of course.
Especially with you guiding them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It makes it so much better. You touched about God. What's the role that God plays in your life?
It's a huge role. God is number one in my life. And with that being said, again, I found God when I was very young. I knew about God my whole life, but I actually converted into becoming a Christian 2 years ago on Father's Day when it was my daughter's birthday. I got baptized as a Christian. But God has always played a huge part in my life. And I think one of the reasons that I'm very successful, I know one of the reasons that I'm very successful is because of my belief, my faith in God. And by believing in Him, having that strong belief in myself as well.
Break down for someone who's not a believer. What does it mean to be a believer and have that kind of faith?
Yes. And I like how you put it. For somebody that is not a believer. And I truly believe that we have to believe in something.
Yes.
In something that is supernatural, right? Whether it's the universe, the higher power, Allah, Jehovah, whatever you want to call it, right?
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, right? And I like that because a lot of times when I do my keynote speeches, I say, when I read from the dictionary, what is faith? So faith is the strong belief in something or someone. So it gives you those two things, something or someone. The something means that the supernatural, right? For me, it's God.
Same.
And as people, as humans, as entrepreneurs, there are times in our lives that things go horribly wrong. And those moments are the moments that we cannot turn to anybody else. Now, sometimes we don't want to turn to anybody else because we're afraid they're going to judge us. What are they going to tell us? We don't want to hear their advice. So those are the moments that we turn to our higher power. I turn to God and I talk to him and he guides me, just on a reflection, like, what should I do? Like, which way do I go? What route do I take? Or sometimes there's problems that are so big that we're so worried about it that we can't sleep anymore. That, I just said sometimes that, God, it's all on you. Put it on your hands. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. And sure enough, it just works out the perfect way. Yeah. It just works out the way it's supposed to work out.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced and noticed that if I do my part, if I meet him halfway, he meets me halfway.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And things happen for me. Doors open, opportunity knocks.
Yes.
And it's just that understanding. Control what you can control, put it in God's hands.
Put it in God's hands. That
like
is correct.
Yes. Do you think America is lacking God?
Yes, definitely, for sure. I think they have gone away with those values for a long time, and they keep pushing into people like having all these beliefs into all these things. And God is a jealous God, and he wants you only for himself.
Yeah.
And to believe in him, and not have like all these beliefs into all these things. And our people are getting confused because they're trying to believe this, they're trying to believe that and that, and they're getting confused because they don't really know what to understand. But at the end of the day, if you really read the Bible a little bit, and I'm not a huge Bible reader, I'll tell you right now, but I pray every day, I do my verses online and things like that. Every time you start reading that, then everything goes back to the Bible. It relates. Like anybody that has been very successful, that writes a book, everything, all the teachings, everything goes back into the Bible teachings.
There's a verse or a story for everything that can relate to everything. How do you think America gets back in line?
I think by having a good leader, by having the right leader, that it's going to really stand up for what the values and the right morals have to be. And just kind of like going through that path. But at the same time, it starts within us, making sure that we make the hard work and the effort of teaching our kids, our future generation, good values, good morals, and good beliefs. And it's hard nowadays, but it's not impossible. Like I said, everything in life is hard, but if you think it's going to be worth it, then you have to put in the work into it.
Distractions are everywhere.
Yes.
And if you don't have high standards, high values, high morals, your foundation collapses.
Exactly.
Yeah. Edwin, when did you realize that you were a great leader?
I wouldn't say I'm a great leader, and I'm never going to take that to me. I think I'm just...
But you are. I hope you know that.
Thank you. I think it's just being a good person, treating everybody with respect, and treating people how they should be treated, right? I think we're all humans.
Yeah.
We're not better than anybody else. And I always make this comment to a lot of my team members that I'm just like them. I wake up in the morning and I take a shower and I put my clothes in just like them. And but I think that's what it is. It's just being human. Being human to people, being able to care for them, being able to take care of them. Being able to guide people and and I think most importantly, always be humble and always be able to listen to others, because I learn so much from my employees a lot of the times.
Most people want to talk and not listen.
Yes.
I think that's probably the greatest characteristic of a leader, is to be able to listen. God gave us 2 ears and one mouth
for a reason.
Listen more, talk less.
Yeah. And that is one of my core values in my transportation company.
Really?
It is.
So how many companies do you have? Let's break that down.
Yes. Well, right now, I have 3 main companies. My first one is, and I learned to differentiate the companies by what they serve me, right?
Okay.
So my first one is a transportation company. And for me, that's my cash flow vehicle. That's the type of company that continues bringing my constant cash flow in order for me to be able to live the lifestyle that I live.
Is this like trucking or
trucking?
Okay.
Yeah, trucking into the refrigerated goods in the market in the northeast of the United States, to be more precise.
Got it.
The second business.
Hold on. How many trucks do you have?
Right now we have 40 trucks.
40 trucks.
Yes.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes, it's a lot of work. But
that could be pet.
My second business is my real estate development company.
Right.
So in the real estate company, that's my wealth creation vehicle. It's a business that I love doing. I love building the American dream, and I continue building homes, but that kind of continues creating my wealth.
Right.
So I love that type of business, and I've been doing it for such a long time. And my last one is the business consulting and education, which is my legacy building vehicle, which that one is I get to give my God-given talent and share that talent with other entrepreneurs, teach people how to become successful, how to live a good life, how to have a balanced life, how to really get close to God. When we're talking about, how do you have people get close to God? It's through that.
Right.
You're really meant through the nice cars, the nice houses, the vacations, the good life. But at the end of the day, you teach them that everything is because of that one thing, right? God.
Yes.
So that one has been very fulfilling for me because I understand that the moment that I'm able to teach somebody to become successful, once they become successful, they're going to continue doing the same thing with other people. So it's just, the legacy is going to continue forever. And also, being able to spend time, just like I'm doing with you today, sharing my message, sharing my experience and my knowledge with your audience, that means that I'm showing people that everybody could become successful and have that amazing life that they wish.
I love what you just said. You have your cash flow, your wealth building, and your legacy. I'm going to steal that because that is awesome.
Thank you.
I really, really like that. So hold on, okay? I know many single men who can't figure out their way around their fucking ass, okay? You are married, 2 kids, 3 businesses, 3 successful businesses.
Yes, 2 dogs.
2 dogs. What is your schedule like? How do you manage time? How do you find time to be a great husband, be a great dad, be a great entrepreneur, run 3 companies? How do you manage?
One word, boundaries. You said boundaries. And I had to learn that the hard way. It wasn't easy for me at the beginning, especially after being an entrepreneur for so long. Once I found my wife, once I met my wife, to me, I wanted to continue doing the same life, which is work, and trying to work and work and work. So with time, I had to figure out that if I want to have a successful marriage, and especially to me, it was extremely important because I always wish and wanted that, to have, to be a family man, to have a good marriage, because I was raised by a single mom. So I don't know, what it is to be a good husband. I don't know what it is to be a good father because I never had that around me. So I have to work hard for that every single day. So in order for that to happen, I had to learn to set boundaries. And those boundaries come with, okay, what is my work time? What is my family time? What is my wife time? And once you start setting those boundaries and sticking to those, life starts becoming the balanced life that we talked about. Yes, there are going to be at times where we go off that balance.
For sure.
Yeah, like for example, this week I'm in Miami by myself. So what am I doing? I'm taking advantage and working a little bit more because I'm by myself.
Makes sense.
But the moment that I go back home, I'm going to spend a little bit more time with them because I just lost a week with them.
Right.
Just like the day prior to me coming here, I didn't work the day before. I spent the whole day with them. So you kind of balance it out.
Right.
And it's not compensate one thing for another one, but it's kind of find that medium balance so everybody's happy and everybody gets your time, because that's the only thing nobody could take away from you.
For sure. Money comes and goes, but time you can't get it back.
You can't get it back. So you have to figure out how to manage it and how to balance it the right way and give it to everybody that deserves your time.
I love that. With that said, how big is your team around you? Do you have a support team? How does that work?
Yes, I have different supports team. In my construction business, in my development business, I don't have a team. It's just myself, my wife. Whenever we have a project, then we hire the team and the team executes what we need to execute. Because I am on the luxury market, meaning that I build multimillion-dollar homes, I don't need to build a lot of them every single year.
Makes sense.
Only, one every couple of years.
Okay.
And that gives you good profit, a good return in investment.
That's awesome.
So it's good. On the transportation side, my team is big. We have in total around 55 employees in total.
Wow.
So that's a nice team.
Yeah.
Drivers plus office staff. And in my business consulting and development, I have a team of 5.
Where are you based out of?
Everywhere. The good thing with after COVID, it taught us to be very international and be very broad. So I was able to start hiring teams overseas. So I have a team in Colombia, I have a team in Pakistan, I have a team in the Philippines.
Wow.
So I have them from I have actually one person from Moldova. He's my content writer. He's very good. So he's from there. And then we have some people we have a lot of people in the United States. So, very international, which is the good thing. And that's why I'm able to live in Colombia, because of all these things that I was able to set up, in order for me to be able to manage my business remotely.
Where in Colombia are you?
In Cali, Colombia.
In Cali. How do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's besides being a dream, another bucket of the checklist. it was a life-changing for my kids, learning their culture, learning
Yeah.
really good how to speak Spanish really good,
Right.
understanding what is to be more in a family environment. So that has changed a lot, that part. And I mean, I love the scenery. Miami is beautiful. I love Miami, but Miami is flat.
Yeah.
And I always say the only thing I miss from Miami is the beaches and the water because I love the ocean. But in Colombia, there's some beautiful mountains. So now my new hobby is bike riding. So we go mountain biking. So we go up these crazy mountains, hills.
That's awesome.
And enjoy the scenery there every day. And we eat at different places. So, life is good. I'm very blessed.
And there, you're a king. You're a billionaire there, practically.
Yeah, you're a millionaire here, you're a billionaire there. So
That's awesome.
things change.
Yeah. If you could go back in time
Don't ask me that question.
in your entrepreneurial journey, what would you change?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I would not change that one thing. I think everything that I have done has gotten me to where I am today. And I know for a fact that, even if you look at the movie Back to the Future, right? There's one
Yeah.
thing that you change.
Yeah.
Everything changes.
Messes everything
misaligns.
up.
So I wouldn't want a different wife. I wouldn't want different kids. I wouldn't want a different lifestyle. I want what I have, and I'm happy with what I have, with the good and the bad.
So would you say that you're living your dream life?
Yes, and I call it my life by design.
Your life by design.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I love that. A lot of people want that, want to have it, but have no idea where to even start. What would you say to that?
And I think that's the key word what you said. They don't know where to start because they don't know exactly what do they want.
Yes.
So in order to start that, we have to go back and think, what is it that we wanted and we wished for when we were kids? And start start tackling one of those things that we wanted as kids. So for example, to me, as a kid, I always wanted to be a pilot, like we talked about.
Yep.
I am a pilot. I wanted to have nice exotic cars. I had the nice exotic cars. I wanted to live in a multimillion-dollar house. I got to live that. So I started checking like all these things of my checklist. So if something were to happen to me today and I look back at my life, I'm like, wow, what an amazing life that I have, instead of looking back and saying, I should have done that. I
Right.
could have done. And then, like Tony Robbins says, you shoot all over yourself versus me thinking of, hey, I did all the things that I wanted to do.
Why do you think most people live in fear and aren't able to overcome these barriers? They stay stuck.
Is the mentality, is that limiting belief mentality that they put on themselves, that now because I'm an adult, now because I have kids, now because I'm married, now because of my job, and they start blaming everything else versus them taking accountability for their own actions. And I think it starts with us taking that accountability for our own actions and understanding that you have two choices in life.
Right.
And the two choices, and I teach my kids this all the time, it's like you have two choices at everything that you do in your life. You either choose fear or excitement. At the end of the day, you're going to have the same outcome. So the way that I put it is like, you and I could go on a roller coaster.
Right.
And that roller coaster could be the best ride of my life. It could be the worst ride of your life. But at the end of the day, we both experience the same thing, right?
Yes.
So that's the thing with people. Sometimes a lot of them choose to live by fear every single time.
How can you break that?
Understanding really what's holding you back and going back and digging down deep within you and figuring out what were those limiting beliefs that you got ingrained with and why are you living with that, and then start embracing those things into your life, because the moment you start embracing those things into your life, things start to change.
Yes.
And I'll share with you, I'll go a little bit deeper on that with you. When I was in the Marine Corps, there was this one Marine that really killed me for many years. And what I mean by killed me for many years, he called me that I was a jack of all trades, master of none. And for many years, that bothered me. I thought I was never going to be good enough at anything.
Right.
Until I really started embracing that. I'm like, you know what? It's better to be a jack of all trades and master of none, because now I'm good at everything.
Right.
I know knowledge of everything. I'm not good at one thing, but I'm good at a lot of things. And nobody could take that away from me. So I started embracing that
That's
into
awesome.
my life, and that completely changed.
He tried to put you in a box.
Yes.
And you said, fuck you. I'm making that box my own. I'm going to move in and I'm going to make it a superstar box.
And that's exactly how it was.
That's great. You have 2 daughters, right?
Yes.
What do you want in a son-in-law? What I'm asking this question is, I feel like a lot of men today are not the caliber of men that the world needs and the world seeks, right? We're lacking leaders, we're lacking drive, we're lacking manliness, right?
Yes.
They call us toxic masculinity. So you as a father with 2 daughters, what type of men do you want your girls to marry?
Yes. everything, the first thing is to always find a godly man, somebody that has that strong belief with God, that relationship with God. I think that's number one. Because a lot of other things, they could be taught and they could be learned, right?
Right.
So it's to have those beliefs and those morals and those values.
Those core values,
Those
yes.
core values. So it starts with that. Second thing is me as a man, as a father, I try to be the best male figure for my daughters because I know for a fact when they grow up, they're going to look
Right.
for somebody similar like me.
For sure.
So it's going to be a
They're
tough
watching.
find.
Yeah.
So they're gonna look for a leader. They're gonna look for somebody strong. They're gonna look for somebody that it's out there, that is easy to get along, that is fun. So I just want them to find somebody that they're gonna be happy with. But everything starts with somebody that has the good faith, believing in God.
God first.
Yes.
What's your superpower?
My superpower is I'm good at delegating. That's one of my superpowers.
That's a good one.
I'm a great delegator.
Because you know how to take things off your plate
Yes.
and focus on what you want to focus on.
Exactly.
It's very important.
And for that, I think part of that is that understanding that I don't like to work.
You're real. I love that.
Understanding that I don't like to work. So the more that I could delegate, the more that I could help
Yeah.
other people out, right? And the more that I could grow. You need a team to be able to be successful. You need the
For
right
sure.
people to be able to be successful.
For sure.
So understanding how to delegate and letting go of a lot of things is what's really going to help you catapult yourself.
Do you have any mentors currently?
I do.
Who are your
I
mentors?
always have mentors. One of them is Robert Riopel. He's my mentor for speaking, public speaking, and also live. He's really good. He's done well. He speaks on stages with 5,000 people.
Nice.
But he really helped me understand which way do I want to take my business consulting business, where to focus and where to hone in, and who to help. Because it's all about serving people and helping people, right?
Right. And you can't help everyone, unfortunately. So
No.
you got to find your niche.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't help everyone. So he's one of my mentors. Then Aaron Huey is another one of my mentors.
Nice.
They work hand in hand with them.
Yeah.
And I had quite a few other mentors along the way. Mentors come and go, and they're part of, they're there for you within a season of life. And I'm very fortunate enough that a lot of my mentors have not been those very influential mentors that you see in social media all the time, that they're very successful people, that they're like on the background.
Right.
But at the same time, they become your mentors, not only in business, but also in life and in
Right.
relationships. And actually, as being a father, as you understanding how to be a good father and how to be a good husband as well.
You built these great bonds and these great friendships for life.
Yes.
It's great. I wonder, do you have like a morning routine that you do or no?
I'm not as a structure of a person as I should be. I do like to have my routine. When I get into that routine, the morning routine it's always affirmations, number one, my prayer.
Yep.
Then working out, getting on the cold plunge, getting ready, having breakfast with my family, and then doing the work. It all depends. Those routines change, but it's always kind of like following those steps within my day to day. So not per se like a structured routine of how I'm going to do in the morning, what I'm going to do in the afternoon.
Yep.
But it's following that routine of those non-negotiables that are in my life day in and day out, which is, have a meal with my family, make sure that I work, make sure that I work out, make sure that I pray, make sure that I do my affirmations.
Yep.
All those things are part of my daily routine, whether it doesn't matter what order they're in, but as long as they get done.
I know that you're big on giving back. Do you work with any charities? Do you have any non-profits that you work with that you give back to?
No, as far as charities, no. My tithing is mostly with the church, but besides that, is mostly giving back to other people and helping them become successful. I think that's the biggest give back that we could give. Not necessarily has to be a charity or something like that, but it could be
Right.
somebody else that's in needing help, and it's helping them figure out, how can they get to the next level on their life. And then it goes into like doing events, doing meet and greets, doing type of different events where like I remember the one event that I did was last year during my birthday. I took out a bunch of veterans in my yacht, and we went out for a day and have dinner.
Very
and
nice.
We spent the whole day together, and we talked and gave them a little motivational speech and things like that.
What do you want for your students? What do you want them to get out of going through your program?
Number one, I want them to become successful on their own way,
Right.
not in my way, but on their own way.
Right.
Whatever success means to them. And the number two is always making sure that they understand, because I ingrained in my values. So part of my program is them understanding what the values are, and them understanding that those are the values that they have to live by, not only in business, but also in life as well.
I like that, because you're teaching them the foundation, right? How to be able to stand on their own two business feet and then grow and catapult off of that.
Yes.
That's very, very important. Because most people, they just want the instant gratification.
Oh, yes.
Give me money tomorrow, right?
I want to make $1 million today.
Yes. And they don't want to go through the journey. I think, going back to what you said to your bankruptcy, I think you realized that you had the most important piece, which is the knowledge of what to do.
Yes.
Right? Even though you lost it all, that's the most valuable piece, is the knowledge,
Yes.
which is why you're back here today, right? So you're giving them that knowledge foundation that's going to allow them to, whatever, I fail, I'll get back up, I'll try again, I'll do it again. I have the skills to do it.
Yes. And reflecting back on what you just said, it is the truth, because when my friend at that time asked me for the money to start the business, I told him, I'm like, I'm not going to give you the money because you're probably going to lose it, but I'm going to partner up with you because I know how to make money. I know the mistakes that I made.
Right.
And I know how to make us successful. And I remember, and I told him exactly like that. And that's why I partner up with him.
What a lucky guy. He got lucky to get you.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was about the win-win. I think it was always a win-win. And I like the win-wins,
Yes.
I think everybody benefits at the end of the day. I benefited because he brought in a concept and he was the technical business partner.
Got it.
And I brought what he needed at that moment, which is the money and the business expertise.
Yeah. Perfect marriage.
Yes.
Yeah. Edwin, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Anything different or no?
Yes. Yep. 5 years from now, my transportation company, exiting my transportation company, number one, because that's been on the radar for a couple of years now. So exiting, getting into preparing it in order for me to be able to do what I love to do, which is scale a company, sell it, and move on. So that's number one. Number two, continue developing because I love doing development. Number three, we should be moving out of Colombia in the next couple of years. And the next stop is probably somewhere in Europe, living somewhere in Europe or maybe Dubai or something like that.
Really?
So that's like the next step in the life. And then continue to impact as many people as I can. My goal was always to impact 100,000 entrepreneurs. So continue impacting entrepreneurs' life, helping them scale their businesses and invest my own capital with those entrepreneurs to continue growing.
I love that. Why Europe or Dubai? Why not come back to America?
I want my kids to continue experiencing different cultures, different languages, to continue learning that. And I think that's going to be part of my legacy to them, those experiences that they're going to have that they're never going to forget when they grow up. Because sometimes, a lot of times what happens is, and I know that's not going to be the case with them, but a lot of people, they get married, they live in the same house, in the same place for the rest of their lives. So if I'm able to give them that opportunity to live in different places while they're still under my care, I want to take advantage of that. Yeah,
for sure. I knew people growing up that lived in Long Island, New York, and never went to Manhattan.
Yes.
Did you imagine that?
I know. And it's crazy to see that.
It's crazy.
And it's funny because once you open up the world to your kids, and I'm talking about kids because of my kids, right?
Right.
It's you notice the difference when I hang around with other people that have kids.
Yeah.
Because you ask their kids, where do you want to go to vacation? And they're going to say, I want to go to Disney World. I want to go to Orlando. I want to go to, somewhere here.
Right.
But then you hear my kids like, I want to go to Dubai. I want to go to Paris. I want to go to Europe. Because they haven't been exposed to that at such a young age.
Huge difference.
So now their mind is so exposed that they want to continue exploring different countries, understanding that this world is not just Florida, but it's another world out there.
They're vibrating on a different frequency.
Yes.
It's amazing. Edwin, I'm going to get now to my rapid fire questions. Okay. These are, it's 10 questions so we can get to know a little bit more about you. Okay. It's quick. What's your favorite book?
Business Secrets from the Bible.
That's a good no, but I should.
You have to. Oh my God, it's an amazing book. And it's actually written by a rabbi.
Wow.
Yes. So it's very good.
Very cool. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Top Gun.
The original?
Yes.
Yes. Favorite food?
Peruvian food.
Peruvian food.
Yes, lomo saltado.
Like a churrasco, ceviche? No.
Lomo saltado.
I don't know what that is.
It's like mix, stir fry mix with French fries and rice.
No.
Actually, I had that for lunch today. So.
That's awesome. Favorite car?
Lamborghini.
Which one?
I like the Aventador.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite car.
Favorite song or music artist?
Favorite song, my song. Actually, if you haven't heard it, make sure you listen to it.
I've not
It's
heard
on
it.
YouTube. So it's my life story song. So that's my favorite song.
That's awesome. Favorite place to visit?
I love to visit. I don't have a favorite place to visit. Let me see. Just to be on the water. I think that's like my favorite place to be.
The beach.
The water. No, not the beach. The water.
The
on
water.
ocean.
Could be a lake. In the ocean,
In the
like
ocean.
on your yacht.
On the yacht. Yes. On the water.
Fancy.
That's like my favorite place.
Favorite hobby? I think you said mountain biking, right?
Right now, mountain biking.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my favorite one right now.
Favorite sports team?
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
No.
Not Barcelona de Guayaquil?
No, I don't. I'm not into sports. I'm not a sports fanatic.
Okay.
I like playing the sports.
Yeah.
I don't like sitting down and watching them.
What sports do you like to play?
Soccer. I like to play soccer. I like to play tennis.
Okay.
I'm not very good at it, but I like to play tennis. But I think soccer and tennis are my sports.
What is your favorite drink?
Water.
Water.
Yes.
Look at that. It's a good answer. I haven't gotten that one yet.
Yeah.
Most will tell me juice or some alcoholic drink, but water's a good one.
Water is my favorite one.
Edwin, if you can give us a tip or a nugget to any struggling entrepreneur who are lost, can't figure out how to get out of their way, and they're just trying to make it day by day, what would you say to them?
On that one, what I will say to them is that believe in yourself, take action, and look for the delayed gratification that it will come your way. Be persistent.
I love that. Delayed gratification. Be patient,
Yes.
right? Do your part and be patient.
Yes.
Edwin, where can the people find you? What's your website, your IG, your coaching program?
Yes, you can find me in all the social media channels out there. Edwin Carrion 78. 78 is because the year that I was born, so it's very simple. Edwin Carrion 78.
I'll make sure to add those links down below.
Okay, and you could go to my website, edwincarrion.com, and in there you could get my free book, The 9 Secrets to Build a $1 million Business, and get that book for free and figure out what are those 9 secrets, how do you build a $1 million business and life.
I love that. Edwin, thank you very much for your time today. I've had a wonderful time talking to you again, to know you, and I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you. Thank you, Leo, for having me, and to everybody, thank you for listening.
No problem, man. Hey guys, go to his website, get his free ebook, and figure out the 9 secrets to success. I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Comment, like, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time.